The client was outraged as she asked Sasha whether she knew who she was. She exclaimed that her brother was the mayor of Jialing Town, a gold rank specialist. The guy standing next to her attempted to calm her down, assuring her that Sasha was right. She would not listen to him, and continued to yell that she would not pay money to suffer. Bai Xian was annoyed with this lady because she had the arrogance to insult her bodyguards in the forest. Xian called her foolish for behaving irrationally in the midst of the wilderness. Qi Ming was behaving suspiciously as he pointed to the 3 houses and informed the protagonist and Xiao Gu that they would spend the night there before leaving the next day. While everyone was reclining and resting, Xian looked about and saw how basic this location was. He got a horrible feeling about this and began to be skeptical. And the stench emanating from the pot smells like crap, Xian thought as he stared at the pot. Xiao Gu spoke, informing Xian that she is dizzy. She grasped her head in uncertainty, becoming more dizzy with each passing instant. Xian became alarmed when he heard this. He cursed, and he only had a few minutes to do something before passing out. After a few minutes, Lao Duan and the others entered the room, and Lao inquired if they had fainted. Ji Qing confirmed his statement, urging him to see for himself. Indeed, everyone collapsed, and Lao Duan was astonished by the drug's effectiveness. Duan protested that the lady was as hefty as he was. Carrying the cranky lady, he questioned why they were just doing this now. Qi Ming begins to expose his real character. He said that Xian has exceptional combat abilities. He reasoned that he could fill Crazy Wolf's job along the road. He also said that it is simpler to succeed if they have gained his trust. They handcuffed Xian, ensuring that when he awoke, he couldn't move. Qi Ming had a feeling. He believed he is a young master from a noble family, practicing in the forest. They might examine his identity and demand a large quantity of money. He reasoned that they may make a lot of money while Balan City is in disarray, and may retire early, eliminating the need to survive under harmful conditions. Lao Duan tallied everyone who fainted, but he realized one was missing, so he questioned why. Someone clapped their hands, and everyone turned around. They recognized the priest, who was smiling darkly, and he quoted them a Bible verse. Qi Ming became upset and questioned Sasha if he couldn't perform her job correctly. He inquired as to why he had not been given any drugs. Sasha defended herself, telling him that it was impossible since her medicine could even knock out an elephant. Lao Duan cursed as he pulled out his revolver, ready to shoot. He pointed the rifle at him and said, "Who the hell are you? Don't give me that preacher nonsense." The priest smiled and advised the guy to calm down, saying he simply wanted to chat. He lifted his hand and displayed the tattoo on his hand, indicating that he came from the Spider Demon sect. Everyone took a battle position as they prepared to fight, and Qi Ming was astonished to learn that he was a member of the demon sect. They didn't realize the protagonist was listening to them, and he thought to himself, "I didn't expect that pastor to be from the Spider Demon sect." He opened one eye and whispered, "What an unexpected gain!" realizing that this was the ideal opportunity for him to learn more about the Spider Demon sect. Before everyone could faint, he was briefed about the medicine. He recalled the apocalyptic eye alerting him about the paralyzing substance that had been found. He quickly reacted by putting on his mask. He thought that they were just typical kidnappers. He didn't imagine the Spider Demon cult would get involved. He decided to wait and see. Qi Ming did not waste any time in asking what business the Spider Demon sect had with them. The priest stated that he is the Spider Demon sect's direct agent, codenamed Alpha. He went on to explain that his job is to attract geniuses into their cult. He added that he didn't want to meddle with them since he just wanted those 2 beast masters. He said that they are hunting for brilliant people like themselves who can kill a gold-rank beast that is far stronger than them. Qi Ming grinned and said, "What a coincidence," he said, claiming they were his items. If he wanted to acquire them, they could discuss the price. The priest grinned arrogantly, wagging his finger and explaining that he had misunderstood. He explained to him that the spider demon sect never does business with anybody. Qiming became enraged that the priest sought to freeload on them. At that point, members of the spider demon sect appeared. Xian was surprised to see them, and wondered why they had come so abruptly. The Eye of the Apocalypse responded that it is a hologram. When he looked to the side, he saw a hologram projector. Someone from outside was aiming at the priest. The individual with the very familiar sniper rifle fired the sniper gun. The gunshot struck the priest in the shoulder, causing him to fall. Qiming was horrified, wondering who had shot him. Feng Lang confirmed in Qiming's earpiece that it was him. Qiming was astonished to learn that the crazed wolf was still alive. He said, "Of course." He asked how many meals he owes him right now. Qiming became annoyed and urged him to stop his foolishness. He was not dead, and he had missed his shot. Feng Lang claimed that his rifle was broken, and he should be grateful that he struck him. Loa Duan discovered a hologram projector and informed his supervisor about it. He said that he was alone. Everyone was enraged, and Qiming asked him how dare he play pranks on them if he was just this powerful. The idiot was quivering with dread as he declared that the priest was on his way and that if they tried to touch him, they would die horrifically. They didn't care what he said, and they began beating him up while saying that he's a scumbag. For some unclear reason, Lao Duan exclaimed that he was going to sell him as a prostitute. Sasha said that she would collect one of his kidneys. And certainly the priest was approaching, perched on his pet beast. He talked over his headset, announcing that the almighty priest had arrived in the banana jungle. He muttered as he prepared to land, hoping that Alpha was okay this time. All the monsters who were accompanying the almighty priest flew even faster, and the creatures roared as they prepared for combat. Qiming was concerned and wondered what that sound was. The priest smirked wickedly and told them they were all done for. As the almighty priest was present, an explosion resonated across the area, and the powerful priest landed on the ground. Xian looked to the side and wondered what was going on. The priest was relieved that the almighty priest had finally arrived. The apocalyptic eye revealed to him the almighty priest's pet beast information: race, corpse beast, realm, the ultimate gold rank. Talent, Eye of Fear, qualification, pinnacle gold rank, skills: enigmatic flames, purple, illusion of terror, purple, shadow rush, purple. The almighty priest walked forward, and he approached the priest, asking where he was. The Eye of the Apocalypse revealed him the almighty priest's information: name, Arthur, talent, spirit domain, Black Gate, realm, Golden Peak, beasts. 4. The priest stated that 2 young people were unconscious behind him. The almighty priest's black aura emerged around his body, and Bai Xiaoan began sweating bullets as he thought to himself that his aura was intimidating. He respectfully urged the others to go aside, but they didn't. Then Lao Duan asked him what he wanted to do. Qiming's eyes widened with surprise as he was unable to move his body. The others were also mobilized as they were unable to move because the almighty priest was restricting them with his power. The powerful priest stepped in front of Bai Xiaoan and begged, "Mother of all spiders, please save those 2 lost children." When Xiaoan saw the almighty priest in front of him, he began to sweat even more. He watched him pull something out. The Eye of the Apocalypse informed him that this is spider poison. Ascension Elixir is a spiritual medication made by blending the essence of the illusion demon spider with several medicinal plants. When injected into a person, it enables and improves control over the injector's realm of existence. The almighty priest spoke, stating that the spirit would guide them out of the mist and into the promised land. Xiaoan cursed and knew that this person is attempting to control them with this elixir. The protagonist realized he couldn't pretend to be asleep at that point, so he broke the shackles. He then stopped him, grasping the powerful priest's hand tightly, and apologized, telling him he doesn't like bad men's services. The almighty priest utilized his strength to assault Xiaoan, but Bai Xiaoan used his own to repel the priest's attack. And Xiaoan seizes the chance to attack the almighty priest. The almighty priest deflected the blow with his own technique, mumbling, that he was just employing simple techniques. He knew Xiaoan abilities couldn't hurt him. Xiaoan took advantage of the opportunity by attempting to awaken Xiao Gu, but she did not wake up. He reminded himself that they needed to get out of here. And he quickly decided to use his other ability to get them out of here. He used the tremendous technique, which covered the entire area and prevented the Almighty Priest from seeing him. The Almighty Priest used his staff to blast away the steam, and when the steam had completely cleared, Xian and Xiao Gu were gone. The powerful priest quickly yelled for his comrades to pursue them. While they are a long distance away from the enemy, Bai Xian attempts to rouse up Xiao Gu by asking whether she is feeling better. But she did not wake up, and in the back of his mind, Xian cursed, recognizing how potent the sedative was. He then directed the Eye Apocalypse to survey the surroundings. The Eye of the Apocalypse instantly surveyed the surroundings. The Apocalyptic Eye discovered a weird tree and promptly disclosed information about it. Race Banana Hunter, Wood Element, Realm, Advanced Silver, Talent Scent of Banana, Rank B, Qualification Intermediate Gold. Skills Scent of Banana Blue. Hunting Banana Veins, Green, and Tying Banana Veins, Green. In the back of his mind, Xiaoan wondered whether the banana tree was the one obstructing the way out. He saw that Gubai was still under the effects of the sedative, and as a result, his movements were restricted. When he looked up, he saw that there were still pursuers in the skies. He pondered what he should do. He decided to utilize his Imperial space again, so he opened it and placed Xiao Gu inside. He recalled that when he had used this method in the past, he had not been impacted by the nuclear explosion. He has now taken care of Xiao Gu. Only the pursuers remain now. He considered what to do with the banana tree. He smirked, recognizing the connection between the night and the banana forest, and realized that he has an advantage this time. The Almighty Priest confronted the blonde, who was panicked and sweating bullets, pleading with the Almighty Priest to help him. The Almighty Priest remained silent as he said nothing. He then spoke, saying, "By the Mother of all spiders, guide your soul into the promised land." The blonde wasn't sure what he meant. The Almighty Priest utilized his power to dissolve the body, and the blonde screamed in agony as he was destroyed. Lao Duan and the others were astounded that he had slain his own troops. The stupid deputy leader questioned Feng Lang about what was going on over his earpiece. The blonde glanced at his rifle and informed the deputy leader that it was entirely broken and he couldn't assist him right now. Qi Ming clenched his teeth in rage, cursing in his head and wondering whether he was going to die here. One of the Spider Demon sect members informed their lord that they had discovered him after seeing Xian go somewhere. The Spider Demon sect member also reported that the other female was gone. The Almighty Priest instructed his comrade to bring him here first. The Spider Demon sect members chased after Bai Xian. Xian looked behind him and smirked, pleased that they had taken the bait. The Demon Spider sect members caught up with Xian, and before they could apprehend him, he erected a barrier around himself. And as the Spider Demon sect members were attempting to capture the protagonist, they failed to observe vines of the banana hunter responding and charging right for them. The vines immediately wrapped around them before they even realized it. They were astonished to see vines physically moving about grabbing them. They wanted to know what sort of vines they were. The second sect member was astonished, and said that it was a wooden spiritual beast. His beast raged as he sought to escape the vines, but it couldn't. Xian smirked triumphantly as his idea was proven correct, and his strategy was executed just like he thought it would. In the back of his mind, he was aware that the banana tree only attacked anything that invaded its area. Their skeleton beast is too enormous, so as long as he stands on the edge of its area, the green banana tree will undoubtedly regard them as invaders. They are identifiable as invaders by the green banana tree. The tree will change into its actual form. When the cult members saw this, they began sweating bullets, knowing they were doomed. Bai Xian knew it would punish them in the most horrific way. The Eye of the Apocalypse informed him that this was the complete form of the banana tree. The banana tree had the ability to suck away their abilities, and it did so. The spider demon sect members can only hide their suffering behind a screen. When the banana tree was nearly finished, the only thing left were their bones. The banana tree released its bananas, and the eye of the apocalypse disclosed to him the knowledge about these bananas: banana fruit, silver-grade material, rich in vivid life energy, and solely utilized to treat different wounds and maladies. Xion was taken aback when he saw this, and he recognized in the back of his mind that with its life energy, it may actually serve as a replacement for certain ingredients utilized in life essence potions. He realized he couldn't pass this opportunity up, so he used his technique to cut one of the bananas off the tree. When he caught the bananas, he sniffed them and was delighted at how nice they smelled. He stated the scent was quite addicting. When he returned to reality, he realized he had gotten carried away and crossed the boundary. He turned around to see whether the banana tree would attack him. He exhaled with relief, figuring it hadn't seen him. He wondered whether it was too busy absorbing spiritual energy. He smirked, certain that he would be okay. While going away, he stepped on a frog, which made a loud noise. He tripped after stepping on this frog. When he fell down, another frog leaped on his bananas and glanced at him. Xion was perplexed by the second frog, and he wondered whether he was doomed to constantly attract frogs. At the time, the banana tree was behind the protagonist. Xion's eyes widened in dread as he felt the banana tree's breath. He cautiously turned around, and he realized immediately that he was doomed. He screamed in fear, and the banana tree roared. Arthur asked how the situation was over his earpiece. His comrade remarked that they needed some extra hands. Arthur spoke, informing the deputy leader and his team that their souls will become a part of the powerful Spider Queen. A black energy emitted from Arthur's staff, and something appeared in his grasp. Spiders emerged in his hand. Qi Ming's eyes widened in surprise, wondering what the heck it was. Arthur merely said, "Go ahead, my children," and the spiders rushed towards Qi Ming's team. The spiders ascended their bodies, and they gazed at the spiders in dread, realizing they were powerless and unable to do anything. Arthur said loudly that they must accept his instructions from now on. As all of Qi Ming's team were on their knees, weakened by the spiders clinging to their bodies, Arthur threatens them, saying that if they do not follow his commands, the explosive spiders around their necks would explode. The banana tree roared as it prepared to capture the protagonist. Xion ran in terror, screaming as in a horror film. He looked behind him and asked whether this was the end. The banana tree almost got him, but Xion was blasted away by the slam of the banana tree's palm on the ground, causing him to cry even louder in horror. Xion was extremely high in the sky, and gravity began to take effect as he began to fall down, eventually crashing on the ground. Xion emerged from the bushes, thinking to himself how lucky he was to have escaped the domain of the green banana tree. He then placed the banana tree in his Imperial Beast space. In the back of his mind, the skills of plant-type spirit animals were so formidable that Xion was unsure whether he could form a contract with one of them. He looked behind him, wondering whether anybody was there. He instantly retreated behind a tree, knowing in the back of his mind that individuals from the spider demon cult were hunting him and Xiao Gu. Lao Duan and his squad were hunting for them, and he wondered how they would discover them in the middle of the night. Arthur used his staff, asking the mother of spiders to help show his servant the way. The mother of all spiders began to scan the whole forest. The eye of the apocalypse warned him that danger was approaching. Xion cursed, recognizing that the spider demon sect had discovered him and was approaching him directly. The almighty priest indicated in the direction of the protagonist and instructed the others to go there. Bai Xion was perplexed as to how the Red Ape members had joined forces with the Spider Demon sect. Bai Xion was still behind the tree, staring at the Spider Demon sect leader and Lao Duan's team, as he didn't notice someone was in front of him. Ji Qing sternly instructed him not to move. She said firmly that he had been surrounded. In the back of his mind, Xian was surprised, wondering what was going on. He assumed that his luck was bad today. He convinced himself that he could replicate the old trick. He employed the same trick as previously, and he wondered how many times he'd done it today. After applying the technique, he dashed away, bouncing about like a ninja. Lao Duan asked Bauhinia if she was all right. She was furious, but she answered that she was all right, but the youngster had left, implying that he had run away. The almighty priest yelled, wondering what they were doing. Standing there, he instructed them to hurry up and pursue him. The deputy leader shouted that he expected him and his team to find a child with the abilities of a beast master. He lied, claiming that no one else here was a beast master. He roared even louder, claiming that a beast master's talents were beyond the reach of regular people. The almighty priest asked him calmly whether he wanted him to remind him that there was a bomb around his neck. They all grasped their necks at the same time, remembering that there were spider bombs in them. The deputy leader clenched his teeth and inquired about his credentials to negotiate agreements with him. The almighty priest informed him that he was not qualified for anything. Feng Lang called into Qi Ming's earpiece, wondering whether they were all right. Qi Ming said that they are all right, they just have bombs in their necks. Feng Lang whispered in his earpiece, informing his boss that he is presently close to their area and could aid them. His boss ordered him on his earpiece to wait a bit, and he explained that the mechanics of the device were yet unknown. He urged that they work things out first before doing anything further, and that they should put up with the circumstance for the time being. Feng Lang agreed with all he stated. Xian hid behind a tree again, breathing hard as he was fatigued. He glanced at his palm and saw the same energy as the last time. He groaned tiredly and thought to himself, "Here we go again." The eye of the apocalypse warned him that the source was harmed, the recovery of a spiritual power was reduced, and the upper limit of a spiritual power had been halved. Bai Xian mumbled that he appeared to have utilized too much physical force today, and he doesn't know how long it will last. He got a warning from the apocalyptic eye. Xian gritted his teeth in frustration, mumbling that it seemed like this day would never end. The deputy commander summoned his pet beast to come out. The apocalyptic eye revealed data about this individual to Xian. Qi Ming, talent, intermediate silver. Pets, red flame monkey, chameleon salamander, armored beetle. Bai Xian looked behind the tree and wondered why the adventurers had joined the demon spider sect. He wanted to know what the cause was. Xian observed something on their necks and asked the apocalyptic eye what it was. The eye of the apocalypse answered that they were the exploding spiders. He recognized they were being coerced, which is why they joined the spider demon cult. After that, he summoned his beloved beast, the red-winged crow. Bai Xian then muttered to his red-winged crow that it was his time now. He instructed him not to murder them because he needed to speak with them. Before he could say anything else, the red-winged crow stopped him, saying, "All right, I got it." When he was finished talking, he informed Xian that he must have devised some method to defend himself. He then soared away at amazing speed, and Xian fiercely yelled at him, warning him not to make the same mistake as before. The red crow mumbled that he spoke too much. While the Qi Ming's team were still hunting, the red-winged crows soared by them with tremendous speed. Sasha observed something in the sky and asked her squad what it was. She inquired whether it was a shooting star, and Lao Duan said that he didn't think so. While he was saying this, the crow approached them with extraordinary speed. Lao Duan spotted this and swore, his eyes widening in surprise. Lao Duan moved fast as he took Sasha with him, and he jumped away from the blast as there was a large explosion behind him. The crow emerged from the dust and wreckage. The deputy commander immediately commanded his pet beast to attack the red crow. The red flame ape roared and jumped at the crow to attack it. The crow avoided with swift reflexes, using its super speed. A red-winged crow was getting ready to showcase its talent. The crow emerged stealthily behind the red flame ape, unleashing a powerful technique known as the blazing sunfire. The attack struck the red flame ape, eliciting a resounding roar of anguish. Qi Ming was observing all of this from behind the tree, cursing in the back of his mind. Damn, this brat's spirit beast is truly that powerful. He recognized that this iron barrel head would not make him move. The deputy leader thought to himself that he gotta think of a way out of this mess. Lao Duan used his shotgun to attack the red-winged crow. But once again, it evaded all of the shots. And Lao Duan was surprised that he couldn't strike it with the shotgun. Fire suddenly enveloped the red-winged crow's body, and he went straight towards Lao Duan as he was going to attack him. The red-winged bird then attacked Lao with a fire blast skill. Duan suffered a terrible head injury as a result of the red crow Lao's tremendous strike. Xiaoan slapped his forehead, furious that his pet beast had done it again. As Lao Duan was knocked out. At that time, the flaming red ape came, ready to punch. Before he was slain, Xiaoan shouted hastily that they could speak about it, and the beast didn't stop as it continued to go and attack Xiaoan. Xiaoan created a barrier to protect himself. But the blow was so strong that it drove the barrier back and smacked into a tree. And it made a tremendous boom. Qi Ming frowned at Xiaoan, telling him that they didn't have anything to speak about. As a crimson aura surrounded his body, he added that he had a request because of this reason, he needed to take him away. Xiaoan released his power, and a blue aura covered his body. He crossed his arms and said that he did not believe he would cooperate with a piece of garbage like him. Qi Ming smiled and stated that there seemed to be a hard conflict between them. Xiaoan simply smirked grimly at this. They then proceeded to fight, and Qi Ming uses the fire skill, while Xiaoan uses a barrier again since it is the only thing he can do for the time being because of what occurred the prior time. Xiaoan looked at himself and saw that the same energy that was causing him troubles reappeared. As a result, his barrier was weakening, prompting Qi Ming to question why he had a shield. He inquired whether it was some type of hidden technology for the wealthy. Qi Ming's fire strike was so strong that it scorched the earth. Meanwhile, Xiaoan did not reply to anything he said. Instead, he was considering if he should just shove the shield out. He opted to thrust the shield out, and it slammed into the deputy leader. He smiled and told him he couldn't believe he had pushed the shield over. He congratulated him, stating that he was really inventive. He explained, however, that this is not his school fight practice. While saying this, his aura reappeared around his body. He concluded what he was going to say, exclaiming that there weren't too many laws and limits. While he was saying this, he ran towards him with remarkable speed, and the Eye of Apocalypse informed him that this skill is strength enhancement. Xiaoan was startled, as Qi Ming was coming at him. He wondered if this was his time. As he thought he was going to die, Qi Ming lunged at Xiaoan, shoving him back and shouting, telling him that he grew up fighting on the streets. Following that, Qi Ming successfully pushed him to the ground. And as Bai Xiaoan fell down, he felt excruciating agony. Qi Ming struck him in the face, and Xiaoan shouted that the demon spider sect is a public enemy of the Federation, and he went on to say that even if he assisted, they would abandon them in the end. Qi Ming was about to attack him as he shouted, "What do you know, bastard?" Bai Xiaoan took advantage of this moment to seize his head and pound his forehead with his. He shouted that he knew more than he thought. Qi Ming wailed in agony. He then used physical strength to slam Qi Ming to the ground, and Xiaoan emphasized that he is aware that he is in danger. He told him that he had a strategy for dealing with the spider on his neck. Qi Ming was interested now that he had a technique, and wondered why he should trust him. Xiaoan peered behind him and yelled loudly because he knew his buddy with the terrible arm was in the bushes back there. At that time, Feng Lang stepped from the bushes, aiming his gun at him. Qi Ming instructed Feng Lang to fire. Feng Lang leveled his rifle as he prepared to fire. But instead of firing, as we all expected, he threw a smoke screen toward Xiaoan. The smoke bomb served its purpose since the smoke blanketed the whole space. Feng Lang instantly emerged from concealment and pointed his revolver at Xiaoan. Xiaoan couldn't do anything except look at this person in irritation. Qiming laughed and informed him that they were not done yet. Because the smoke screen covered the whole area, the almighty priest was unable to see what they were saying or doing. Qiming then spoke, informing the barrelhead that they had brought the youngster to him, at which point Xian pretended to be knocked unconscious. Qiming asked whether he could let them free immediately, and his squad looked optimistic since they did not want to be controlled. The almighty priest inquired about the girl. He gave them a clear command to bring her back as well. Qiming was upset, claiming that this was not what had been agreed upon in the beginning. Arthur spoke, stating that it seemed that he needed to remind them of something. He questioned the deputy leader whether he had forgotten about the bomb spiders around their necks. And he did recall the spiders, which infuriated him. He ordered him to dismiss it, and he murmured that it would be a thing of the past soon anyhow. Just as the suspense reaches a climax, Feng Lang appears from the shadows, revolver in hand. He fires the rifle without hesitation, aiming right at the almighty priest. However, just in time, the priest was able to deflect the bullet with a well-placed shield. The mighty priest's attention was briefly diverted, enabling Qiming's crew to take advantage of the situation and launch an assault. The priest was taken aback by the abrupt onslaught. Bai Xian encouraged the deputy leader a few hours earlier to reconsider what he had stated. At the moment, Xian was shouting loudly, and the deputy leader attempted to urge him to be quiet. Feng Lang stated that the boss implies that he is unsure if the object has an eavesdropping function and that if he has anything to say, he must do so quietly. Bai Xian knew that the goal of setting off these smoke bombs was to keep that guy from the demon spider sect from seeing them. He smiled mischievously and shouted loudly, "Don't worry." He told them he studied it and discovered that it lacked an eavesdropping feature, and that it was simply an average mutant spider. Qiming then instructed him to inform them about his idea. At the present, Xian has already briefed them about the strategy, but he first explained that the explosives spidering around their necks have limited intelligence, so he can only give them commands via the teamkin in his hand. He then explained the plan, telling them that they needed to impede his movements and prevent him from using the tin cane, which is why they required a strong guy to block his movements, and that man is Lao Duan. He went on to suggest that all they had to do now was shatter his tin cane to free themselves from his captivity. Sasha arrived as she prepared to smash the tin cane. Xiaoan added that he is a decent level beast master who would undoubtedly resist, and at that point, the almighty priest emitted his purple aura, indicating that he was about to employ his power. The great priest released his vast strength, propelling Lao Duan backward. At the moment, Bai Xian advised them to prepare a backup plan. He was enraged, and he yelled at them, calling them impatient humans. He quickly grabbed Sasha by the neck. Sasha tried to withdraw his hand. However, she was unable to withdraw his hand in time, and the strong priest pushed her away with enormous force. And he said loudly that it seems that he has been too friendly to them. Sasha slammed on Xian, and he predicted that once he loses control, he would undoubtedly explode the bomb spiders. And the almighty priest did just that, shouting at them to prepare to be judged. The bomb spiders glowed red, and all of them froze, but they recalled what Xian had told them. The bomb spiders had a long fuse and do not detonate quickly. This is the period when he is most vulnerable. And the priest shouted confidently for the Lord, "Wash away their sins." The Bauhinia tried to strike from behind with her dagger, but the priest quickly grabbed her neck. She clenched her teeth and pretended to be angry. The almighty priest shook his head, telling her it was pointless. He stated that the Lord already knows everything. In a second later, she grinned confidently as she recalled Xian telling them that, although his shield is very strong, as long as one is near to him, his field is rendered ineffective. With a tight hold on the knife, she prepared to fling it at the tin cane. She then flung the knife at the tin cane, and the almighty priest glanced at his staff in surprise. Everyone, particularly Xian, was relieved that it succeeded. Bauhinia and the others looked at the spiders on their necks and discovered that they had really diffused. They removed the bomb spiders from their necks, and Lao Duan was relieved that they had finally gotten rid of those pesky spiders. The deputy leader went up and yelled, "Go to hell!" The almighty priest was outraged. He tossed Bauhinia with force, but Qi Ming quickly intercepted and saved her from injury. However, the force of the throw was so powerful that even Qi Ming was thrown back, and Lao Duan was able to stop their movement. As soon as they came to a standstill, Qi Ming yelled for his squad to make a quick getaway, and, true to his promise, they fled like a flock of scared chickens. Xian was not surprised. He honestly expected them to flee again. The priest was plainly bored up with all of this bullshit, as a black aura enveloped him. And he made a hand gesture. Something awful emerged behind him just then. This creature encompassed the whole space. Qi Ming pondered whether this was the domain of a gold-level beast master. Qi Ming stared about in disbelief, trying to figure out how to get out of here. Inside the domain, Qi Ming attempted to connect with Feng Lang via his earpiece, instructing him to swiftly contact the captain. But shortly after he concluded, the earpiece stopped functioning. Since the connection had been severed, and Feng Lang continuously cried out to his boss, attempting to reconnect with him, but it was unsuccessful. He understood that the signal was poor and that he could only use this, so he pulled out another communication device to contact the captain. He phoned the captain, and when someone answered on the other end of the communication device, he welcomed them and told them to put him through to the captain. He added furiously to hurry up. From the other side, the lady who was speaking with Feng Lang informed the captain that Feng Lang had something essential to report. The captain was upset. She informed Feng Lang that they were in a meeting and inquired as to what was wrong. Feng Lang screamed in terror, informing her that they were imprisoned in the green banana jungle by the demon spider sect. The deputy chief and others have called for assistance. The captain inquired about the situation with the demon spider sect. She wondered why they were battling with her people. An unknown individual said, saying there must be a mistake here. The captain wielded a baseball bat, her eyes blazing with immense intensity, while bolts of lightning swirled about her. She spoke menacingly. The last person who ventured to toughen up her red monkey gang last time is now buried with 20 stables. The almighty priest unleashed a huge deal of strength and constantly yelled thanks to the Great Mother, Almighty Lord. Right after he said that 3 beasts appeared and the Eye of the Apocalypse showed him the information about these beasts. The first information was race, parasitic bat, realm, intermediate gold, talent, magic voice infused ears, skill, magic voice fused ears, purple, gliding wings, blue, and sonic shock. The second beast has the following information: race, 3-headed corpse spirit beast, realm, intermediate gold, talent, bone crusher, B-level. Xiaoan examined the last beast's information: race, neverwinter spiders, realm, advanced gold, talent, light and shadow, B rank, skill, frightening light, purple, poisonous sting, blue. Bai Xiaoan was appalled. He wondered whether they were all spirit beasts. He described them as ugly as shit. Bai Xiaoan smirked. He glanced at his red-winged crow and informed him that after consuming so many crystals, it was time to use them all up. The red-winged crow looked at him cynically and questioned what he wanted to do with that. Bai Xiaoan immediately uses his new talent, which he learned from the now-deceased fool. Fire covered his body and his red-winged crow. He began to notice that his hand was undergoing a spectacular transformation, being coated in an unusual armor-like substance. He felt a sensation of astonishment as he looked at his arms. His eyes glowed, and half of his body transformed as his odd armor appeared. He looked at his armor in surprise and remembered that he altered his attribute to a fire, so he wouldn't be affected if his origin was destroyed. Talents are amazing, he added. In the back of his mind, he lamented the fact that Ming Xiaokong, although having such a remarkable skill, did not know how to utilize it correctly. So he took advantage of at that moment. When he used his talent, he immediately used the heavenly chains to take it away. The almighty priest was amazed with his unusual skill and possession. He informed him, however, that he was still inexperienced. Xiaoan didn't care what he said. he was prepared to fight. The almighty priest instructed his Dino spider to deploy a horror beam. Xian had little time to react as the Dino spider came directly in front of him. The Dino spider's skill rendered him immobile, and he was astonished to find himself enclosed as he was hit by a blast of dark purple lightning. The apocalyptic eye became aware that its master was in danger, and gradually opened its eye to the actual world. This was the mighty priest's first encounter with the apocalyptic eye, so he was perplexed and wondered what it was. Arthur felt an eerie shudder pass down his spine as he caught the eye of Apocalypse, which was riveted on him. When the eye of the Apocalypse glanced at the priest, Xian was confused, realizing Arthur had removed the restraint. Bai Xuan glanced at the priest and saw that he was quivering with fear. He was perplexed since he seemed to be terrified of something. What he didn't realize was that the eye of the Apocalypse is the one causing the priest to be afraid, and it is just staring at him. The mighty priest quickly ordered his faithful creature to use a powerful technique known as the Shadow Impact. Xiaoan launched a strong assault known as Gunsmoke Impact. They both attacked at the same moment, passing through each other in the process. They attacked each other at the same time. Following that, they crashed violently, traveling at an incredible speed. Qiming's squad was startled by the almighty priest and Xiaoan's amazing power, which they could only witness via afterimages of their motions. Qiming whispered, "When gods fight, mortals suffer." They all agreed that since they couldn't flee, they'd simply enjoy the battle. A weird purple material landed on Lao Duan's shoulder. Everyone observed this and felt confused. They turned their heads, inquisitive about what was behind them. As they gazed back, a terrifying three-headed creature roared menacingly. They all screamed an expletive simultaneously, while knowing of their imminent death. They instantly fled, and Lao Duan instructed his boss to have his monkey block it for them. His boss told him that there were too many of them. Sasha advised them both to focus on fleeing. Meanwhile, Xiaoan and the beast fought, resulting in a loud crash. Their powers collided, resulting in a massive explosion. Both the beast and the protagonist fled before being trapped in the blast. The beast opened its mouth, and a purple orb emerged in front of it as it prepared to strike. Xiaoan tightened his fist, and fire appeared around his arm, preparing to strike as well. He inquired whether he intended to deploy spiritual energy assaults. He said that now that he is no longer being held back anymore, he may fight to his heart's content. He squeezed his hand even tighter because he was about to apply a technique called turbocharge. He yelled for the all-powerful priest to prepare to receive his punch. As he prepared to hit, at one point he used his method, turbocharge, an explosive trigger. The horrible beast unleashed profound flames. Both assaults collided. Both attacks were stalemated. Xiaoan decided to boost the spiritual energy production, and his fire became blue, indicating how strong it had grown. Both attacks got unstable and eventually erupted in a large explosion. Suddenly, crimson lightning crackled around Xiaoan's arm, and he recognized that the Crimson Crow's spiritual force was overwhelming his body. Arthur's mask cracked, and he noticed this as he was astonished and wondered why he had not penetrated Xiaoan's attack. He was simply standing there, not saying anything at the time, and staring at this youngster. He decided to take off his helmet, and he told Brat that he had many secrets. He informed him that he was becoming more interested in him. Xiaoan reacted, stating he had now shown his genuine face. Arthur stretched his arms. A tremendous aura developed around his body, and he informed Xiaoan that he was qualified to see his actual strength. He finished by asking the all-powerful mother of all spiders, the Almighty Master, to let them merge into one. As Arthur was in a gigantic sphere and changing it into something new, all of the pet monsters and himself began to merge into one. Qiming's team and the deputy leader inquired as to what had transpired. When he was close to the orb, Xiaoan wondered what the heck was going on. As he saw all the pet beasts enter the orb, a monster's claw emerged, and the creature began to tear apart the orb. The monster then opened its eyes. In that moment, the monster roared and stretched out to grasp Xian, yelling, "Let's start round 2. Xian had no time to move as the creature grabbed him tightly. He cursed mentally. The monster, informed him again that he was too inexperienced, as he had previously. The creature laughed and lifted his arm. He smashed Xian to the ground, causing a huge explosion and a massive shockwave. Xian grew in discomfort and struggled to get up, but he gradually got up again. The monster told him that this is the gap in power between them. He told him to join him. Xian simply scowled at this person. Suddenly, someone assaulted the creature on the back of his skull, and the method that used to attack him exploded. The beast roared as he looked around to see who had assaulted him. However, the beast that attacked him used the opportunity to approach Xian, and the pet beast dragged him away as soon as it could, surprising by Xian, who did not oppose it. The beast turned back and bellowed in rage, realizing they had fled. Qiming's pet beast reached his master after successfully retrieving Xian, and the monster didn't see it, since he was still looking for the brat. Qiming swiftly told Sasha to go aid the bronze-ranked brat. He informed his colleagues that he would block off this bucket head, and the bucket head eventually saw him. Sasha asked Bauhinia to give him a checkup. Bai Xian asked softly, "Why are they helping him?" He smiled and told him that he did not want to owe him anything. He yelled, informing Xian that he, too, had long despised this buckethead. While he was doing this, he energized his beast, increasing its strength. Buckethead roared and lifted his foot, intending to stomp on the deputy leader. Qiming's pet beast created a fire barrier to prevent the monster's foot from killing them both. After successfully blocking the monster, he was taken off surprise by Qiming's beast. It took advantage of the opportunity to leap, and was instantly in front of its face. The pet beast sliced the monster's face with its wing, causing him to scream in agony. Bauhinia examined Xian and was astonished by what she saw. She pondered why his physique was like this. Sasha approached her to examine what's wrong with his body. When she saw the issue, she explained to Bauhinia that it must be due to his talent. She remarked that, although he may be able to combine with his spiritual creatures, it is not the entire form but rather inhibited. Bauhinia knows what she means. He is hurt because his spiritual energy is hindered. Sasha informed her buddy that she needed to find a method to smooth out his spiritual energy. Once his energy is restored, he will discover a means to reach his full form. Sasha recommended that they start the procedure, as she released sharp nails attached to a bizarre conduit on her body. Bauhinia smiled, knowing how terrible this was going to be. Xian was scared and puzzled, so he asked what surgery they were talking about. He began to back away gently. But he couldn't get away in time because Sha was already behind him, and she whispered to him, telling him not to worry and that it wouldn't hurt. Hearing her speech and witnessing her smile, Xiaoan became even more frightened. But there was nothing he could do as she began the procedure. Xiaoan shouted in agony as he felt the nails penetrate his back. Sasha twisted her arms, and green light energy approached towards Xiaoan's back. Strange green light invaded his body and began to repair his energies. Xiaoan was cured, and he roared as he began to finish his transformation. A fresh blue light erupted around his torso, and the mask on his face began to shift as his other eye blazed. His whole body was suddenly clad in armor, and he glanced at himself, surprised, wondering whether this was the final form of a possessed body. He felt strange staring at his physique since he was still adjusting to his new appearance. The apocalyptic eye reminded its host that he could still employ the Phoenix Flame. For a second, he was perplexed as to what the system meant by Phoenix Flame, but he realized that it's Little Phoenix's skill, and he remembered that he used the Chain of Heaven on her to be able to use her skill. He was startled because he hadn't expected the system to even notify him of this. The system, or the Eye of the Apocalypse, materialized and told him that he was welcome. Xion was taken aback as he asked the Eye of the Apocalypse, "Isn't he just a system?" Xiaoan did not have time to explore what was happening with the apocalyptic eye. Back with Qiming, the monster bellowed, gathering spiritual energy in its monster as it prepared to attack him. It emitted a purple laser from its lips, which traveled right towards Qiming's pet beast. The beast defended itself as it formed the barrier in front of it. Qiming yelled for his ground beetle to hang on. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.